Hi, this is Margaret Motherall, and I just want to introduce myself. And also, part of this is asking for some assistance in getting some medical care. Um, I'm the one who's been fighting the crime and corruption and environmental problems in Philadelphia since 2006 and became a whistleblower and retaliated against, and so far I've survived so much. Okay. Um, right now I'm gathering papers together to send to some authorities. I'm not gonna get into that because it's kind of probably shouldn't, but I've been playing detective since 2006. But I was trained, I'm well trained, overly trained as a healer and a reader. And I need to earn money. I haven't been working much because of illness due to lead, mercury, cadmium, asbestos, and silica. Silica is like the in when they do demolition or excavation, silica's in like brick dust or dust from the air. It's little particles that get in your lungs. Kind of acts like asbestos. Like you get silicosis, little particles get stuck in your lungs, and then scar tissue grows up around them, just in the same way as like the asbestos, and you kind of suffocate from the inside to death. Um, and then mercury, lead, cadmium are all carcinogens, and then anyway, I have a list of ailments, including PTSD. So I've been in recovery, well, trying to be in recovery, but I really need some medical care. I need some labs. I need to go. I found a place in Los Angeles area. I live just east of Los Angeles in the mountains in a small town because I can't handle very much. So I just stay in my little house. Okay. Um, and you can, the place is called Biosanctuary. You can look it up on the web. They do really great IV chelation, which is what I need because it really helps clean out the blood and get down even the poisons and stuff have gotten into my organs by now, and I don't want to get renal failure or all the other bad things that come from these poisons. And it's a lot of the symptoms have been getting worse, so I really need to get in and get some help. And the Biosanctuary Clinic, I need to get the labs done. I think that's about $1,000, and then like the program, like a 10-day program is maybe, I don't know. You can look it up on the internet. It's like 8,000 or something. And then I have to pay for like an Airbnb thing near the clinic because I called the woman and talked to them, and she said that it's not a good idea to have a bunch of sick people spending the night together. Okay. So you go home at night and you're in your own energy field, and you know, being a sensitive, I can understand that. Um, I always, I mean, I'm like so sensitive, like, you know, like I'll have somebody else in the house sleeping, maybe. I mean, that's not happened for years, but um, and I'll like get in their dream. I'll be in their dreams, you know, and I'll go like, "This is not my dream. This is your dream." So I always like have to go, especially with the PTSD. My nights are really rough, and I have to like do a lot of just self whatever. Lately, it's just watching stupid TV. Sometimes I get up and I take 3 or 4 baths at night, and it's really difficult to get through the night because of the PTSD. But as I have a background in healing and an extensive background, I started learning in the 70s. I started making my own flower essences and studying astrology. I actually studied with Dane Rujar. So I'm 63 now, and you don't recover from things as fast at this age. And my life was pretty much wiped out. Uh, so I don't want to die, and I want to live well, like healthy for another few decades, okay? So I have a lot to do. This video is really for my healer friends and those people who understand what I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of prejudice. I've experienced a lot of prejudice and sort of witch hunt mentality because of my healing work and my intuitive work. But I'll go through some of my background so you know that I'm qualified. Yeah, I started in the 70s, and then had a lot of incredible experiences. About 8 years of a Kundalini awakening, which didn't really figure out what it was until it was almost done. But that's kind of the way it works. I've just definitely walked the path of the wounded healer and the sort of called by nature. Like, there's in nature provides communities with healers, and the sort of natural way of becoming a healer is to get like illnesses or really severe trials and tribulations. And if you can survive, then you're a healer, okay? And you kind of gain a lot of skill and understanding from your own healing process. I'm trying to look at the green light, so I'm looking at you instead of the corner. So I did come to healing in kind of called by nature or my soul, I suppose. I went through a lot of the traditional path, the traditional wounded healer path. But then, like, teachers would show up. As far as my readings, like, that started, like, very early, too, with people just kind of random people just bugging me for a reading. And I would say, I don't do that. Okay. Like, I kind of grew up in a family of like scientists and more, my dad studied zoology at Berkeley, and, it was more of a um, science background. So I always wanted to make sure everything fit with science. And my first metaphysical question came really early because my her father was a Methodist minister. And my grandmother, his wife, the wife of the minister, she was there for Christmas. And my father had given us kids, like, we were really young. I was maybe 4. But I remember very vividly and very seriously this question. My father gave us the dinosaur books, and then the like Darwin evolution kind of books, from big picture books from the apes, the Neanderthal, and turning into the man and stuff like that. And my grandmother, she's really tall in those days because I was really short. And she said, well, your father's side of the family may have come from the apes, but your mother's side came from Adam and Eve. So I really heard that question even at 4 years old. It was like I pondered very deeply on that, and it really stuck with me. And kind of my whole life, I've like wanted to find that bridge between the spiritual, or things that science didn't necessarily say was science, and science, okay? So I always usually chose teachers that had a background in science, and then came to the the energy field and the oracular oracle arts and so forth, sitting on a background of science. And I've studied with some of the really great teachers throughout my life. I've been really both persistent and very blessed to have some of the best teachers. And then I've just had the regular shamanic experiences, which is like nature teaching you, and my life experience is teaching me. So one of the first, so people used, when I was young, like early 20s, people used to come to me and bug me to give them a reading. I don't know what made them think that I could give them a reading, but they would do that. And I'd say, no, I don't do that stuff. I don't do that. And then finally, I'm an Aries sun and Aries moon, and then I have a Mercury in Pisces, and I have Aquarius rising. But finally, I just got fed up, like I'm an Aries, so it's like I just got kind of mad. I said, well, okay, fine, okay. So I didn't know what I was doing, and I just like sat down it was a woman, and I just like closed my eyes and let go, and whatever came to me, I just like said it, okay. And I didn't know if it was right or not. And then like a year or two, I think it was like 2 years later, she found me and she said everything that I had said had come true, had come to pass. And that kind of kept happening until I finally belligerently said, like, to God or whatever, like, oh, okay, I'll do this. All right. But I still needed to, like, prove to myself. And so I would get teachers and things like that. And one time this woman said, you should go see this woman and learn from her. And I went for, it was a very good basic training. I recommend it to anybody who tries to read. For 2.5 years, I would go once a week, and it was just a small group of us. And all we did was work on ourselves in the sense of, like, sense the energy in our own chakras and sense what energy was ours and what energy belonged to somebody else, trace whose that energy was, and then clean it up out of our own chakras. And I learned that, the only energy you should have in your system is your own energy. All right. And that's a hugely valuable tool. It's very basic training for doing readings, okay? Because you need that clarity. Like, I was so sensitive, like, that I could walk down the street and pass a house and suddenly I'd get sick, because I'm sure a lot of you are like this, that, I knew, like, there was, like, trouble in that house, like sadness or quarrels or darkness of some kind. So the world, learning those skills of how to differentiate between my energy and somebody else's energy, that's like basic 101 for learning how to do readings, because you don't want to read through your own lens. Also, like, some psychics take or intuitives take the energy into their own body and read it. And you don't need to do that. If you read from the crown chakra, it's like your antenna that, like, goes out and picks up information, and then you can bring it down and interpret it and speak it through your first chakra. Like, when I train people, that's how I train people to do readings. First, I get their system aligned. That's the first thing. If you're a healer or a reader, you get your system aligned, and then you connect with the other person. And I never, like, people always tell me, oh, you must be so tired after doing that work, like I'm picking up their energy, but I don't pick up their energy. And I feel energized afterwards because I channel through, like, light. Okay. Now, being sick, I don't work that much because I'm putting a lot of energy into me, and everything that I've been through, I kind of lost my clients and stuff like that, and I'm in a new place, and I haven't been able to, I've just needed a lot of time for myself. But I was thinking about, somebody suggested that I do a crowdfunding, and I didn't have much luck with it. And if you want to just donate money, that's fine. But I'm thinking, like I used to charge a lot of money, and I was worth it. Okay. but but um I don't know. Like, my guidance has been telling me that when I get started again, I should charge 180 because of my experience, and I do both healing and reading at the same time. Um, well, before I figure this out, I gotta figure it out. Like, how do I do this? Because I'm thinking about like doing readings for to collect the money, to raise the money for going into the doctors. But I'm not sure. Like, I can maybe do 5 a week because I still need a lot of time for myself. Um, so I don't know how much to charge. Maybe you guys can give me some feedback. I did graduate from Barbara Brennan's School of Healing. Graduates from their school charge, 150 or so more. I'm going to be charging, my guidance has been saying, when I started getting to charge more because I'm really good at the psychic part. Not every Brennan healer does that. This was our workbook for the 4th year. And one of the great things about this program, I call it my boot camp of healing. It's really a boot camp. Trust me. It's really a boot camp. I had to do every single page in here and get tested on it. Okay. And it's actually about, like, I know a lot of psychologists, and when we are in this school, you have to go to see a therapist. Like, it's a requirement to see a therapist, like, twice a month. Okay, a lot of people that go through therapy school, that's not a requirement. I've known people going through therapy school and never had therapy, which sounds really crazy to me. And also, like, every single client that we had to work on, because we did like clinical studies, we had to like fill out all these forms and investigate what our transference was, what their transference was, what their projections were, what my projection was, what my wound was. It was like related to the session, what their wounding was, what the mask was, all these like really in-depth training and insight that we had to do on every single practice client and write up these long papers on it. Okay. It was really a super boot camp. Okay. And a lot of it's based on the chakra system, the energy system, And then there's the psychology, and then there was like the psychic development or high sense perception development aspect of it, which was really easy for me. In fact, I had to cut it out. Like my first year, it was like I could see everything, and everybody was like jealous because that was like what everybody wanted was to see. And it was really easy for me to see, but I had to develop my other senses like uh, clairsentience, because you really want to connect with, you're really connecting with the energy body of your client, and you want to be really grounded in your in your field, in your energy field, to be able to connect on that level and all the different levels that you're going to go on, because you're going to go on a lot of different levels. So you can't just like watch the movie, okay? Watching the movie is not going to get the whole job done. So I'm not really sure how to do this. Let me start a video again. Anyway, that's my intention, is to raise money so I can go to that clinic and get everything cleared out. My blood, my organs, get all the labs done, get rebalanced and all that, so I can live a regular life. Because right now, like, if I go out for part of a day, it takes me like, sometimes it can take me weeks to get over it, or the PTSD like makes you really tired too. And fighting City Hall makes you really tired. So I spend most of my time kind of as an invalid, and but I can still do the readings, okay. I just can't do them all day. And I just feel like I should earn the money. I know one time, it was years and years ago, my kids were little, and my marriage wasn't very good, and it kind of wore me out, and I was trying to vacuum the house, and I just had to stop and lay down on the floor. And this woman I met, I had promised her to come over and do like a healing and reading for her. It was before I went to Brennan's, but people were asking me already to do it. And I just like prayed to God. I said, like, God, you have to do this because I can't. And so that's what I'm going to do. It's like, God, you're just going to have to do this. Because I went over there, because I keep my promises. And I went over there, and there was some past life stuff and other stuff, and I did the healing, and like I got a healing, and it's like saying, God, you have to do this. And she got like a super healing, and I got a super healing at the same time. So that's the way I'm gonna do it, is like, God, you've got to do this with me, like I'm your instrument. I'm trained, I have a lot of tools and everything, but you have to guide me. And that's what I've generally done anyway, but I'm just remembering this and relaying the story to you, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna end this video right now and then like do another one about something while I'm figuring this out. I may have to channel or something on it. Anyway, any donations though that you want to send to me, you can send to my PayPal at media, like fake media, but just media, lowercase media, at lowercase my name, margaretmotherall.com. That's my PayPal. So any donations can be sent there. I gotta find something different than PayPal too, because it's too expensive. Anyway, okay, let me stop here and then maybe I'll do a channeling next. Thanks.